an average over the course of the 2 days of 89.61, a checkout percentage of 30%. Basically, from top to bottom, we've got a very good standard up and waiting. Establishes authority on the match. 13 data for Leonard Gates to get us up and running.
So 119 for Richie, not the easiest. It is now.
For the first topper of the night, and Greg Richie returns this game to throw. It looked like it was going to be a procession for the soldier, but Richie is dug in. Greg is...
He's having a look to see which way is he going. He's going the bullseye route. Again, I think he's got 30 in the board. I think he's got 60 left. He's going to have to go there again, isn't he? Surely. 65 left.
45.
Comes out for the treble. 15 having been unfortunate on the bullseye. It's now 3 for double, 1 for Richie.
8.
Pins the wire, grazes the wire, but it could be the last dart he throws. Gates for the match. Has 2 in hand. At double 16. Richie had threatened the comeback. Missed a dart for 3-3. But it's 2-8s for Gates. To get the opening win of the night. He had to work hard for it in the end. He got out the blocks flying. And he falling into that bracket. Both players averaging below 80 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was nearly double 3 there for David Davis. 1 up and 1 in.
No score.
Not that far in.
WK 20.
Well, Evans could pick up a leg which he had no right to win. But it's in his leisure. Evans breaks, he leads 2-0, and David Evans shakes his head in the background, and he has every right to do that. He knows he should be level in this match, but it is Evans.
You say this has to go back up to the top of the board again, where he's been unsuccessful already.
72.
And once again, it's adrenaline. It's adrenaline. He's overpitched.
Well, this is for the perfect 9.
34.
But it's not to be right now for David Evans. 0 from 6 on the doubles so far, David Davies.
Evans saw the finishing line, and the flag bearer bashed him on the head with it.
30.
And now David Davis has done exactly the same.
And so Evans gets another go to complete the job and to complete a 4-zip win. It's the perfect 9 for David Evans. It's 9 wins from 9 for him this week at the Super Series. Nobody has gone through the whole card throughout the duration of a week without defeat. David Evans is looking to make that kind of history tonight. Still jovial, still laughing, still joking, but he knows it's a performance way below his best, but he didn't have to be to get the better of David Davis by 4-0. He'll be disappointed with the way that first game went. He takes on Mike Warburton in the next one. Now, coming up after the break, we're in a situation where we could know the whole Group 1 dynamic by the end of it. Because if Greg Richie loses to Andreas Harrison, well, we know the two are going to be heading through Group 1. It could be a semi-final lineup that could be decided very quickly indeed. Double-double. Oh, this would be delicious. Oh, it's delightful from Greg Richie. It's some way to keep him in the contest.
It's good counting from Richie.
But it could count for nothing. Harrison's into the semi-finals again. He's looking for the hat-trick, is Dirty Harry, and he is one step closer to doing that. And in doing so, he sends Leonard Gates into the final 4. He gets the better of Greg Richie by 4-2. 2-4-2 defeats for him. Sees him depart stage left before we've even seen Mike Warburton in action. Such is the ruthless, cutthroat nature of the Super Series. That's the tale of the tape from that one. Harrison had averaged just under 93, 25% when it came to the finishing. Greg Richie can reflect upon plenty of the positives that come from this week, but there will be a bitter disappointment as to how tonight has gone. Richie 2, Harrison 4. Next up, Davies against Warburton. Davies, despite having his struggles, Warburton has just got on with the job to the best of his ability. 2-0 leads, the 14 darts, the first 2 legs, 1 in 30. averaging 100.2.
Yeah, consolation throw here for David Davis. You fear these are the last ones on this particular finals
85,
night.
Mike Ricard, 32.
Double 16.
Game
For Mike
shot
Warburton
and
to
Mike
progress
Warburton.
his way through to the semi-finals in sumptuous style. A roar of appreciation. It's not quite the dancing, it's more the prolific darting for the Welshman tonight. It's all business for Warby in more ways than one. A 4-1 victory, averaging 102.71, 4 out of 6 when it came to the finishing. Everything about that performance, Mike Warburton can smile about. As for David Davis, well, it's an evening that he would probably want to forget. One leg in 9 for him over the course of the evening's play. So it sets up a scenario where we have got 2 shootouts. Andreas Harrison and Leonard Gates with the first one to see who is going to top Group 1.
Of that experience, that he won't worry that he's 2-0 down. He will now be more concerned that he holds his own throw. And that's the way to hold your own throw. And now he's got to do the business and hit. And now he knows he can come back at Gates and try and make it 2-2.
140.
Gates up the pace there a little bit, didn't he?
Now they're throwing haymakers at one another. Double 9. Back to 2-1, but Harrison does need to find a break. Well, there's Burger Boy.
What did you cut? 8.
For 3 more. Could be 6 more if he wants a double 4 to seal a 4-2 victory. Double 2. Gates is the golden boy in Group 1. 2 from 2 means it is he who holds all the aces, the American. As for Andreas Harrison, well, it's defeat for him, meaning that he is going to have to throw second in the second semi-final. Gates through 4-2, and those are the numbers as to why. The scoring power just far more superative to Harrison. 7 compared to 4 in the Tom 40 plus column, 4 from 12 when it came to the doubling. It was delightful from Leonard Gates in those particular departments. He beats Andreas Harrison by 4 legs to 2. And so we're going to round off the group stage affairs with Mike Warburton taking on David Evans. Scheme of things doesn't dictate your fate on a Saturday.
Correct. They're both through, so they should be throwing with a freedom that, yeah, well, whatever. You know, it should be a practice game, this one.
140. David Ricard, 155.
Easier said than done, mind you. I've been in the situation.
Oh, this would hurt Warburton. This really would hurt. Oh, it would have been a right steal for David Evans.
24.
But look at the steel in the eyes of Warby there. Double 12. Back to 2-1. Back in business is Warburton.
Full flag David to throw first. Game on.
Start for Warburton here.
Yeah, it is going to be. And then don't forget he's going back for that tops that he's just missed for double-double, 1 throw before.
37.
And it makes it very difficult to hit then
16.
when you come back to it.
This will put him a leg away from 10 victories out of 10 for the week. Are we going fishing? We're on tenterhooks, David. Reel it in. Reel it in! In perfect style! A 10th win from 10 is done with the 170 out. A kiss to the crowd. A crowd that take their acclaim. And he could well be a couple of games away, David Evans, from doing something special. Something never seen before. And that is to go through the entirety of a week unbeaten. So this, the tale of the tape from that particular match. An 87.07 average. 4 from 9 when it came to the doubles. He continues to have a round of applause and a standing ovation as he departs the stage. That 170, some parting shot. And so now we know our semi-finals. We're going to be watching Leonard Gates against Mike Warburton, David Evans against Andreas Harrison. Well, this could well be quite the Final Four. Tops are 1-0.
56.
Drags below.
Mario Kart
So
81.
Warburton gets a break opportunity here.
Yeah, it was in quite a hurry to throw that as well. It wasn't the usual Leonard pace, stepping back, having a look and making sure. Now a big chance to break already
Game shot
for
on the
Mike
first
Warburton
leg.
and takes
Mike
it.
Warburton.
This could be a real turning point. Tops is
99.
missed for 139.
Mario
Can
Kart
Warburton
156.
find a real haymaker here when it matters the most? Not to be. Gates leads tops after 12. And it looks like this semi-final is going to be square again at 2 apiece.
82. Mario Kart 40.
Always annoying when you get first start wrong and that second one goes in the treble 20 on something like a 156, but it's Gates now coming back for tops. Oh, big moments, and he knows it. He
had a dart to lead this game 3-0. Warburton hasn't won a leg since. Leonard Gates now is going to have 2 darts in his hand at double 16.
54.
But he's had too much darts now,
Mario
and they
Kart
have come and they've
16.
gone. And so Warburton gets a reprieve to send us all the way. Really has been a seesawing semi-final, which is
Game shot on
going
the
to
sixth
get
leg.
its crescendo.
Mike Warburton.
We go the distance in the last leg. Who can hold their nerve? First chance Warburton. Double 10. Fives. Foul with the last dart. And Warburton is final bound again. 4 series on from his last success. He is back in the big money match.
But you have to say, Evans' confidence is high. He'll fancy this.
Big moments in this match. Big dart at tops.
92.
And that could be a big miss because Harrison now has left double 18 after 12 to find the break and to turn this semi-final in his favour. It's found. It's a 14 darter. Harrison breaks. He's done that. He's left 32. Both players leaving a double after 12 darts, but it's Harrison with first go. Double 16 for back-to-back 14 to put Harrison on the brink to return to the final on a 3rd successive occasion. Andreas Harrison is 1 game away from the perfect hat-trick as he denies David Evans the perfect week. The streak for Stretch will end at 10. As for Harrison, well, the Super Swede marches through to the final with a bit of voulez-vous. A 97.88 average, 4 for 9 on the doubles. Well, it was a case of gimme a 14 darter in the middle portion of that match. 2 of them in succession really put him in a position to then hammer home towards the end and hammer David Evans by 4 legs to 1. Everything on that stat screen on the right-hand column was ultra impressive from Harrison. He outscored Evans towards the end of the game. He outfinished Evans towards the end of the game. And so our final is set. It's Mike Warburton up against Andreas Harrison. It is Wales against Sweden for the top prize and a place through to Champions Week. Join us after this short break. I get a couple at his favourite double 18. But decides to go treble 15 to leave double 8. It was legs in this range which was the key to his
53.
victory against David Evans, but he has spurned a couple of darts to win leg 1.
And that could be a big miss, and the first turning point in the game coming right up here in leg 1. Andreas shaking his head.
Game shot on the first leg.
And he has a right to do so. First blood, Warburton.
Andreas Kart 161.
161 for the break. Down for treble 17. Now a dart at the ball. Magnificent from Harrison!
Andreas Harrison.
And how that could be a game changer for the Swedes.
Game shot on
One
the fourth
away.
leg. Andreas Harrison.
And you have to say that Warburton is not doing a lot wrong here. It's Andreas doing an awful lot right. So 160 for Warburton. It's a good start. It's in a beautiful position. Can he hit it? Oh, needed to hit the dart before, but big pressure now here on Harrison. He's gone straight for it. It's 74 now. So single 20 it is.
53. Mile car 20.
Warby, double 10 to hold. Double 5. Sensible second dart.
Game shot on the fifth
That's
leg.
why it was
Mike
sensible.
Warburton.
Well done, Mike Warburton. Trebleless. Has to use the ball here, surely. And that's the risk of using the ball.
83.
Could have used the 18s.
21.
It's the bullseye to become champion, and he does it again.
And the winner of the bonus
It's another bullseye
finish.
finish from Andreas Harrysson. What a game of darts, ladies and gentlemen. What a game of darts. You are looking at your Swedish Finals Night Series 7 Week 5 champion, and look how happy he is. He knows he's had to play his heart out this evening. He's not always been at his best, and what a lovely thing from Mike Warburton. What a lovely thing to do. That 161, middle of that game, was absolutely game-changing. And look at these averages. 103.19 for Andreas Harrysson. 91.66 for Warburton. You can't be too disappointed with that. 2 out of 4 on the checkouts for Warburton, 4 out of 10 just solely because Andreas Harrysson just gave himself more chances. High checkouts of 161. What a sensational final that was. It was absolutely riveting to watch. We saw it coming. Tonight has been a slow start, but what a firecracker to finish the evening. Super game of darts.
Andreas Harrysson, you've literally just said to me, you can't believe it. You better believe it. You've done it again.
Oh, yeah, what? Yeah. What should I say? Yeah, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Right, the first time you were here, maybe it was a little bit under the radar. The second time you were superb. The third time, the sweetest of them all?
Maybe, I don't know. I enjoyed every moment of it. So everyone's been an honor, and it's great every time. So.
And there's something about you in finals, Andreas, because you averaged 103 in your last final against Richie Housen. You've averaged 103 again in the final. Took out that 161, took out that 121 in that final. When it comes to big pressure matches, what is it about yourself that in those games you bring the best out of yourself?
I don't know. I just do it. Nothing to say, I don't know.
You're becoming a specialist now, aren't you, Andreas?
Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully.
Well, you most certainly lit up the live lounge again. You're going to be back at Champions Week. Now, you made it through to the semi-finals the last time you played at Champions Week. Now you've qualified once more. Do the goals shift to, yeah, I want to win the whole lot?
The goal was to win it last time, but I didn't. I probably should have, yeah. Jim played great that time, so lucky for him.
Well, every single time you're here, Andreas, you just make different bits of history. Last time, you hit a 9-darter. This time, you hit 117 average. This is like second home, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like that. Yeah, not nervous to travel here. I know the way and everything, so and I love the stage and love the crowd and everything. Yeah.
And we love having you here. And I think the crowd love having you here as well, don't you? They love Andreas. Well, we've been in this position, haven't we, Andreas, a couple of times before. You know exactly what I'm going to say. That is in your possession once again, and I'm going to let you go and lift it. Ladies and gentlemen, completing the perfect hat trick, Andreas Dirty Harrysson!
Yeah, lovely moment for a super fella in Andreas Harrysson. Just keeps coming here and picking up that trophy on a weekly basis. Every time he comes, he seems to get through to Champions Week, and he's taking it in there. Doesn't give much away in terms of emotion, Scott Mitchell, but he's got a big smile underneath that big beard there.
Absolutely. Probably the trophy's not big enough to take the beer clippings and fill it up. But look, it was a great final from him, and he has overcome starting really slowly tonight. It would have been the easiest thing for him to do, go, do you know what, it's not my night. But he doesn't do that. He just doesn't give up. And as the night went on, it started to come to him. He started believing, and Mike Warburton didn't lose that final. Andreas Harrysson went and won it. Mike did everything he could to hold in there. And tonight, Andreas was just the better player. Yeah,
pulled out one of the best performances. You see, great respect as well from Mike Warburton. He knows what you've just said, doesn't he? He knows that he was beaten by the better player. There's nothing he can do about that.
No, and we've been saying it, and I've been saying it, this evening, that when you do get Mike, he's one of those that, appreciates what a great shot. And he did on the 161. He gave him a fist pump, and the easiest thing to do is be angry about all that. But he doesn't do that, Mike. He's just... He's a good guy, and it wasn't to be for him tonight.
Yeah, and the audience, again, I've got to say, this series at the Live Lounge, the crowds they've come and they've stayed, whether they've been supporting a player that's gone out in the group stages. It has really been great to see, and they're getting the rewards. Harrysson there going down, having selfies with all the fans and stuff. Really has become a real thing now, hasn't it? Finally, on Saturday nights, that the crowds are coming down and the players are giving back to them.
Yeah, and the Super Series is a big thing for players to come here and qualify, but now we've got the point of fans want to come here now and experience the Live Lounge experience. So, yes, it is becoming an iconic venue for the fans as well.
Yeah, and if you want to be here, of course, you can be. Any Saturday night tickets are available via dartshop.tv. Andreas Harrysson winning that week. It's the third week, which you and Henry spoke about a lot in comms. We've seen some great players come here and never even win a week. So to win it 3 times, that's some feat, isn't it?
Oh, it's nice of you to say. Yeah, no, absolutely. It is. It's a massive feat. To win here once is pretty amazing, and you have to get everything in line and time your run and everything. To do it 3 times, that is, pretty special, and that's why not many people have done it 3 times.
Yeah, look, we're going to turn our attention to next week for a moment, because we've got another fantastic lineup coming your way on week 6. And here is that field. Tom Sykes, Darryl Pilgrim and Rhys Colley. Well, they've all won weeks here at the Super Series. Further down that list, Damien Mull. He's back from a Pro Tour card, a PDC Tour card, and he is going to make his debut. Kurt Parry, we saw him last time, excellent. Hogan and Adams, well, we know what they're all about. I mean, Scott, that is a fantastic week, a fantastic lineup. It gets better and better.
It does, and as the players want to come here, and it's getting harder to qualify because everybody's trying to qualify through the ADC route to get here. And that is just, again, a super week. We looked at this week and thought this is going to be really even. And that's another one. And where do we keep finding them from?
Yeah, well, let's just have a final look at what's happened tonight then. The moment of Harrysson winning tonight's match, tonight's final, it was really, really a special moment because it was a special final, wasn't it? And next week is going to have a hell of a week to follow.
Yeah, indeed, and because of the standard of the week, all week, there were big names went out. Let's not forget there were names. Nine Dart, Jared Cole didn't make it. Connor Scott didn't make it, and at the end of the week there could only be one winner, and probably the way that he played in the final, we had the right winner on the night.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier on about Andreas Harrysson. Maybe not his night at one point. He made it his night. And that thing as well, he made it his week because, I mean, myself and Glenn Durham were talking about him at the end of Thursday night thinking he was a lucky boy to get 3 wins. He hadn't shown... He showed his ultimate best when he had the 117 average, but hadn't shown the consistency that it has in previous weeks. So you're right, he has gone and grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and made it his, hasn't he? Absolutely.
He just takes it game by game. He doesn't let... The last game, he doesn't get it like a brick and chuck it in a rucksack on his back and let him drag him down and down and down. He forgets it as fast as it happens. That one's gone. He has the experience to do that. Youngsters don't tend to have the experience to do that. They tend to take it with them. But they learn to get out of that. And then when you get out of that, you're a player like Andreas.
Look, he was the winner, but it wasn't all about him. Here is the story of the night in terms of the results that have happened. And look, David Evans, he had an opportunity to create history, didn't he? He had 10 wins in a row, then a semi-final defeat at the hands of Andreas Harrysson. What is the feeling going to be like for him? Because had he done what Harrysson did and lost a couple of games in the group, then he could have still been lifting the title, but that momentum came to an abrupt end.
Well, again, Andreas did right things at the right time in the middle of that game, and there's sometimes you're on the end of them and there's nothing you can do about it. And I think there was a brace of 14 darters there in that game. So Dave will be disappointed that it hasn't happened, but I think when he watches it back, he'll realise that he kind of didn't give the game away. Andreas went and won that middle part of the game and put himself in command. Yes, he'll be disappointed, but I think he has to go in and go, do you know what? 10 on the trot. Not many people have done it here at the Super Series. He's had so many positives from this week. To look at the negative of a semi-final loss would be the wrong thing to do for Dave Evans after the last 3 or 4 days.
Just a final thought from you. This series so far, we've got the likes of Rhys Robinson, Conor Heenahan, Neil Duff, now Andreas Harrysson, all through to Champions Week. I mean, this is shaping up to be one of the best ever, isn't it?
It really is, and I think that to be part of Champions Week must be an absolute dream, and for those guys already, they're dreaming the dream, and there's a few of us that are hoping to come in and play in this series and trying to be there with them.
Are you still planning to play, or is it going to be an emergency with a cow or something that stops you coming after you've seen what they can do on that
There'll be an
stage?
emergency with a cow, but it won't stop me playing, I promise you that.
There we go. Well, thanks for your company tonight, Scott. It's been a pleasure, as always. But the evening belonged to our Super Series Super Swede, Andreas Harrysson, who once again walked away with the title. That's now 3 for Harrysson here at the Live Lounge, and the Swede was successful once more.